Hold on. Okay. I'm going to change gears a little bit. I have a story for you that happened the last couple days. You know,
I like
all this
stories.
Silicon Valleys are so brilliant and they're trying to change the world for the better,
Indeed,
and they're so good at what they do. Like, I
there are.
can't post anything on Twitter without it fact checking me right away, and YouTube takes things down. The AI on Google and Amazon know what song I want to pick next, and they're really good at it. The voice recognition is impeccable, right?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
have all this data. Okay, what happened a couple days ago? I get home and my wife tells me, "Why did you put $90.50 from Amazon on our debit card?" We never, ever, ever put our debit card online, ever. It's a thing. It's hooked directly to our checking account, and we just don't trust them, right?
Right.
So we get this bill for $90.50 on our debit card. So I go, I don't know. So I checked the records to make sure nothing was done. And that credit card isn't on our Amazon account. It's just not there. So I
Right.
looked up an order for $90.50 and it's not there. So I contact Amazon through chat, of course, right?
Right.
I finally get through to a real person, PS, right? So they're
Yeah.
going, okay, how much is it? Are you sure you didn't put anything? I go, I am positive no family member have put it, because one, it's a new credit card because of what happened last year, which I'll get into in a second. So I know nobody has this card. And two, we never put our debit card online ever. It's a recurring theme you'll hear in the next few minutes.
Right.
And so they're going, okay. So they looked it up. They couldn't find anything, obviously, right? So they did, you need to contact your bank. I go, all right. So my wife's, getting mad at me because she thinks I put something on the Amazon card, because we order stuff through Amazon, quite a bit.
Right.
So we go to the bank, right? The first bank we go to, the lady was kind of a dick, right? Of course,
Yeah.
there's nobody there. She says, we're a little bit understaffed. Da, 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 da. I go, okay. She says, go online and you can dispute it that way. So I tried going online, my app, and dispute it. And it said, my account can't dispute apps online. I go, oh, okay. Well, that doesn't help. So I'm not going to call the 800 number because I'll be on hold for COVID. And
Yeah.
so that's ridiculous. So I find another branch that we go to, and they help me out, right? So the guy calls up and he says, this was done with a pinless transaction. So that means somebody was at some store, an Amazon store, back east, 3,000 miles away, right? And I've done it because it was done back east somewhere. And then he asked for my card. It wasn't under my card. It was under my wife's card. Okay, my wife's never ordered anything on Amazon ever, ever, ever. She always asks me to do it. She says, "Hey, I need to get this." I go, "Yeah, no problem." And it's always delivered under my name or my son's name.
Right.
Literally, she's
Right.
never ordered anything on Amazon ever. The only thing she goes to is Whole Foods Market, but never, ever Amazon, online or whatever. And so we go to the
But Whole
bank.
Foods is Amazon, right?
Well, they are, but it's under a different name. It comes up as
Okay.
Whole Foods, not Amazon Marketplace.
Okay.
So basically the bank goes, okay, well, we'll look into it. We'll temporarily reverse the charges and we'll figure it out, right? So I get home that night and there's a box on the front door from Amazon, right? It has my wife's first name and her partial last name, and then a butchered rest of the last name, right? It had the first four characters right, and then the last were just gobbledygook. And
Yeah.
the address it was the street name, but the number address didn't exist on the street. Because we have a set number of addresses, and the address was kind of close, but it wasn't. And there was no address on the street. So I didn't add up the price of the items yet, and I am, but obviously somebody ordered this thing, you know, and Amazon couldn't figure it out. They left it up to the banks, you know. It just pissed me off. I
Was it?
couldn't
Was the?
believe it. Huh?
Did your kid do it?
No, no, they couldn't have. The name is not on the account. It's never been on the account. So obviously her name had to be entered somewhere, and it's never been there. And the kids don't have the debit card number. They
Right.
just don't have it. I mean,
What
Wendy,
were the items in the box?
it was like a mini electronic heater, right? And then it was this ice cube shaper, and then it was a scale, and then it was some like USB adapter thing, a hub, USB hub. It's like junk. And it was like,
meth lab?
huh? Yeah, I know. It was like, it could have been. Don't laugh, because that's what I was kind of thinking. Now that you tell me about it, because there's all the things for like a meth lab or something.
Anyone but a meth lab anyway.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this. And this last year, what happened with Google, right? On my debit card, which again, we never ever post online, there was like 20 99-cent charges on the Google store, which I have never ordered from ever. Like all within like a 10-second period, right? And then like a few hours later, it happened again. There were like 20 charges in a 10-second period. And this is Google, who's supposedly the master of the world with data, couldn't figure this out. I mean, Silicon Valley is a complete sham. All it is marketing and selling you stuff, and that's all they care about. They can't do anything else, and that's why.
Also, because they sell your data, email addresses, phone numbers, physical addresses, and all this stuff. That stuff gets out there, and inscrutable people can mix and match it. Like they can get it.
Yeah, that's what my whole thing about China. When companies break into like a health corporation and get your name and number, it doesn't mean too much. But what they do is they also break into your credit card. They break into Amazon, and what they do, and I will specifically point my finger at China, is they're building a profile on you, so they can start doing this stuff. So if you have trouble, paying your bills and then they figure out that somebody in your house had cancer and you work for the government in Virginia, they know where to put the pressure. They know who to go after. They're not stupid. They do put the information together and connect the dots, unlike Silicon Valley companies.
Yeah.
And that's what scares the crap out of me. Like, you're right. This could have been some meth lab guy. They put the wrong address on purpose so that the package would be delivered. Then they kind of know when to track it, because obviously Amazon tells you down to the minute when it's going to be delivered. So before we get home, they'll go over to the doorstep and pick it up. And I'm telling you, this Silicon Valley is a scam. They just want to make their money. They don't care about the world.
They absolutely don't care. I mean, they don't have any meaningful technical support. I mean, they've all gone invisible, and they're always passing the buck. And again, just things seem way more secure in an analog mechanical way, once, because the reality is everything is hackable. Now, what people think of when they think of hackers are like in the movies. They go, you get your IP address, and we're connecting through the subnet mask to the data, all this shit, all that. But it really isn't much. It really isn't that complicated, especially if you get somebody on the phone. Like if you can get their phone number, like old people, you can get them to give you everything. They'll give you your bank. Not everybody, but they get enough. Like you watch these scammers on YouTube, like from India, that do this with old people, and it's, enter your password, and they have like a key logger that they put on your system. It's just,
all you need is like 10% of the people to do it, and it's worth it.
And all of this stuff, I've made this statement for you. All advances of technology are simply based on convenience. Like, for example, a digital camera is not better than a film camera. It's just more convenient. Like the image quality from a digital camera is not better than a film camera. If you know how to use a film camera, think of all the glorious imagery we've had before digital, Sports Illustrated and National Geographic and all this stuff. Digital cameras are not better. They just aren't. Digital music is not better. It's just more convenient. And this is the problem that I have with it is, and what Silicon Valley and technology has done has simply made us lazier.
Yeah.
It's lazier. We don't want to go to the bank, But everybody used to do. I remember this was years ago when I first got married. Back in those days, ATMs weren't as ubiquitous as they are now. They weren't all over.
Yeah, we had one downtown. That was the one. It was downtown. That was it.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when my in-laws would come out. They were from upstate New York,
Mm.
and when my in-laws would come out for a weekend to visit, what they did is they went to the bank before they came out here and got cash out. And remember those dollar bill size envelopes that the bank used to put your money in?
Yeah.
It's like the size of money, and they would come out with that filled with cash because they knew they couldn't get to a bank out here, and there were no ATMs. But at least it was safe.
Yeah.
At least secure. Like it was their money. Yeah, they had to worry about getting pickpocketed and shit like that. Yeah. But that's easy enough to manage. But now
it was like Vegas. The bank teller knew your name. They knew stuff about you. They lived in town. You may know them or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And so that's the thing with technology is it's just simply a way to make us lazier.
Yeah.
And again, I take total advantage of the convenience, but I do this around Christmas time. I refuse to buy any of the people that I love for Christmas gifts online anymore. I haven't done it for like 4 years now. And I go out to stores, and they're all local stores. I it's just sort of a thing that I do. Now, some things you can't get. I mean, that's the problem. I've tried to boycott Chinese made products, but it's impossible. I mean, most things are made in China now. So it's impossible to boycott it. But I'm aware of it, and it's impossible not to use online shopping. But I do my best. But I don't know. As you know, I've just gotten more and more cynical and sick of technology advances, especially everything out of Silicon Valley. They're an evil group of people.
Oh, they're horrible. I just despise it. And I live out here.
And the one thing is they hate their customers.
Yeah, I know they hate them.
They hate the users. It's like heroin dealers, how they hate their customers.
They look down on them. They know they're scumbags. They don't care.
They think we're shit, and they don't care because their access is globalist. 7 billion people. That's their market. So they don't give a shit if 10 million Americans are mad about something. They really don't. Like, well, fuck you. We'll just stick it to the Indonesians and, get all those guys on board.
The biggest goal, the target on their wall is to get into China. So they'll do anything to get into China. Can you imagine?
Tells them, yes.
Yeah, because it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. They desperately want to get into China. I mean, that's all they want. Just like the movie places, they edit the movies to get into the Chinese market. Right. They don't care about what's right and what's wrong. They don't care. Well, as long as they can edit the movie, that's good.
It's like these YouTube and social media celebrities that have become, a lot of whom I follow. What they've done is they're just sitting at home all day making videos, which, takes some work. But they sit at home, make videos all day, and have this place to put them. They have a broadcast network, through YouTube or whatever it is, and then they get rich from it. And then when they start hearing that like Silicon Valley is like deleting their subs and all this shit and ruining their career, it's hard for me to feel bad for them because it wasn't really a job.
Yeah.
Like, you're just putting out tweets and getting your opinion on videos. You're not doing anything.
You're not creating anything.
You're not creating it. I'm creating ideas. I'm an influencer. Oh, I hate that word.
Yeah, influencer. I hate that. Another word I hate is baby bump. When
Mm.
I hear that, I just get angry.
Oh
It's like
God.
influencer. Yeah, I'm an
I'm an
influencer. I
influencer. You're
influence
buying
people.
makeup because I told you to.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You idiots can't make up your own mind, so I'm
Right.
making up your mind for you. I'm so good at that. It's
And
like,
they do get rich from this because all they have to do is, do one video on some fucking makeup product,
yeah,
and that shitty company will be like, "Yeah, we'll give you 2,500 for that."
yeah,
It's no big
yeah,
enough their nose,
yeah,
and it adds up because they have like 50 different makeup companies doing this, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and it just, I don't know. It's hard for me to feel bad for these guys, even though I like them. I like them, and
mm,
I watch them, and I like the stuff. But if they were to go away, it's like, meh. All right, well, I just
just go
won't watch.
find something else. All right,
Yeah.
I gotta go upstairs. I'll talk to you in a little bit.